I'm Jay Tope, your host in for Jackie Hill. She'll be back on Monday. And I know a lot of you are very happy about that. So we're looking forward to having her back on Monday as I start up the high school sports season with volleyball action Monday night at Paul Taylor. And pretty much I won't see my family or my friends for the next 9 months. So we're here, of course, at Silver Fox Studios. It's Friday, August the 8th. Which is a beautiful day because I've got some beautiful people in here today. One of them, of course, our first guest is a good friend of mine for many years. He's the senior photographer at SATT.com, but he does so many other things besides that. He's the official photographer for Ken's 5 on a lot of their things, whether it's the Spurs, other sporting events, high school stuff, concerts. He, of course, owns a Morano Photography. He is also... he's got a pretty interesting background that we're going to find out a little bit. Big round of applause, our studio audience, for Tony Morano. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. Anything for you, Jay.
Well, you know what? You're the fourth person that's told me that today, but only 3 people have come through. So thanks for being one of those 3.
You bet.
Tell us a little bit about how you got started, not in photography, but I mean, where you came from. You came from the Philippines.
I was born in the Philippines, left there when I was about 5 years old. My father got stationed in Wichita, Kansas.
Yes.
Moved to Kansas.
Because, of course, everybody from the Philippines ends up in Kansas.
We become Wheaties.
So that's there you go. There you go. And so you had a military background. Is that one of the things that eventually influenced you to go into the military?
Kind of. My family was more of an Air Force family, so I kind of rebelled and joined the Army.
Oh, okay. There you
go.
So
yeah, we were stationed in Kansas for 13 years.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, you really grew up in Kansas.
Yeah. We went through 13 tornadoes and 3 trailers. So
wow.
Yeah, every time there was a tornado, we'd be like, yes, we're getting a new trailer.
See, I went through 3 trailers, but I was just evicted, so we didn't have the tornadoes to worry about. So are you a Jayhawks fan?
I am absolutely a Jayhawks fan.
Yes, because I remember the first couple of times when you started shooting for SASports.com, before I was able to get you an SASports.com hat. You actually were wearing a Kansas Jayhawk hat.
That's right.
Which, in order not just to publicize SA Sports, but to make sure that you didn't get pummeled by, Texas and A&M fans.
Schools,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it. All worked out really well. So you go to Okinawa.
Yeah, we get stationed in Okinawa, Japan. Lived there for about 3 years, and I joined the Army from Okinawa, Japan.
Right.
Did basic training in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Right, because see, if you would have done it in San Antonio if you'd been in the Air Force, you realize that.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, but I rebelled.
Yeah.
But if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely join the Air Force.
Really?
Better quality of life, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the Air Force for 4 years. Enjoyed every minute of it. That's where I met my wife and everything. So I mean, I'm a big Air Force fan, but I have a brother that retired Army, so I mean, I can see both sides. You were into social work while you were in the Army, and that's not an easy field to be in.
No, very stressful. I do credit it with making me a better father, and interestingly enough, it's how I got into photography because of the unfortunate task of having to take pictures of abused children.
Yeah, that's just, I can't even imagine. That's got to be
with their injuries in the emergency room. So once I retired, after 17 years, I wanted to stay with photography and take pictures of something fun.
Right, yeah.
But right after I retired in 2002, I had to go back into the workforce.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the wife that said,
yes.
Yeah. See, because my wife always tells me all the time, even now, she tells me, when are you going to get a real job?
Exactly.
And I keep on putting her off.
Yeah. And with my wife being from Germany, being German, I don't argue.
No.
Yeah. Especially since they won the World Cup.
Yeah. Well, there's that history of Germany, and there's other history of Germany that. Anyway, so you decided to go to school.
I went to IT school, became certified in computer in IT, the IT field. So I did a lot of work from 2004 to about 2008 till I met you.
Right.
Doing a lot of IT stuff on military installations.
Right, and you during this time, you had also decided to start taking photographs of your kids.
Right.
Now, I'm sure you can probably trace some of this back to the fact that everything you went through in the Army with the social work. I mean, it kind of makes you a better person just because you're seeing all this
Absolutely.
stuff. Would it not?
Absolutely, absolutely. You hate that you have to take a child away from its parents, but you end up saving that kid's life.
Right.
You know.
And so I mean, as bad as it was, the fact that you were helping save lives, I mean, that's great for the heart.
It's very rewarding. Yeah.
So that's, like I said, that had a lot to do with your background as far as your personality is concerned. And so you parlay this into when you're taking pictures. I've seen sports photographers go out there, they take pictures and nobody even knew that there's a photographer there. But you mix it up with the fans as far as, you talk to the parents and stuff like that. You introduce yourself.
Communicate. You got to communicate with the people.
Yeah.
Because and I'm pretty good with names, and we know a lot of the same people.
Right.
So
yeah. Well,
and
tell
we
the ones
keep
that
in
hate
touch.
me that I'm a really nice guy.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody. At least not on my friends list.
Okay, that's true. Okay, well, I'll point out the ones, and then you can delete them later. We're talking with Tony Morano from SASports.com. He's of course, the senior photographer, and also does so much great photographic work for Ken's 5 TV. Okay, so you are taking pictures of everybody, and as far as at all these youth events, and as your kids are growing up, when was it that you decide, you know what, I can actually, make a living from this?
Well, I wasn't sure if I could, but then a magazine contacted me, saw some of my work, and back then it was a SAM magazine, SAM.
Yes.
Student Athlete magazine.
Right.
Contacted me, and I did a lot of work for them.
Yes.
And they went under.
Yes, they did.
That's
a story for another show, by the way, because I'll tell you exactly why they went under.
That's how fate brought us together.
It did.
Right?
It did. And I was a little nervous at the time when you first reached out to me, because I knew you were taking pictures for this magazine, which I called Scam Magazine. But and it wasn't anything against them. Well, actually, it was, because of the fact that, well, what had happened, and here's my, I thought first we were putting out a magazine at the same time, and I remember.
I didn't know that though.
Yes, no, you didn't. No, you were completely oblivious.
Right, exactly.
You just knew you had heard about us, and so you had contacted me. But what had happened is, and when I first found out about the magazine, is when we put out the SA Sports magazine, and I'd gone over to Brian Marmion, who was the athletic director at San Antonio Christian. Mm-hmm. And I'd shown him, I said, hey, here's our brand new magazine. And he looks at it, and the first thing he says is, it's so much better than your first magazine. And he wasn't talking about the photographs, but he was talking about the general layout of their magazine. If you remember, was kind of dark and and edgy. But anyway, he says, looks better than your first magazine. And I said, it is our first magazine. So he pulls out of a drawer and pulls out this magazine. He says, so you mean this is not you? And I said, no, this is not. He says, well, they told me that they were associated with you, and if I had known that, then I wouldn't have let them have free run of our stadium on Friday night, this past Friday night. I was like, are you kidding me? And I found out from other coaches that had said, yeah, they said they were associated with SASports.com when they were doing interviews and stuff like that. And I'm like, no. So I put out a memo to everybody. I said, hey, they're a separate magazine. I didn't say Scam Magazine.
Yeah.
I just told them, I said, they are a separate organization. They're not involved with us. I just want to make that clear because people are confused. And within a month, they were gone.
Yeah, they put out 2 magazines.
Yes.
I shot both covers.
Mm-hmm. And you did a great job. And that was one of the, again, if I thought for some reason that you were in on the scam, then I wouldn't have said, hey, why don't you work for me?
Well,
because,
if I knew that you existed, I wouldn't even thought about joining them. I would have jumped on you.
So so anyway, so we started working together and absolutely loved each other from the get-go.
Yep.
I think the first thing you did a thing at Bernie Champion for me.
Right.
You did, I want to say it was a basketball game at Bernie Champion. And the rest, as they say, is history. We haven't made any money since. No.
Well, it's we're going on 7 years now?
Yeah, this is our 7th year working together. That's amazing because that never happens. I mean, in high school sports. So so we started working together, and you just, amazing photography. Tell us, about some of those early times. When did you think that, hey, this is going to work out pretty good for me? Not necessarily financially, but just this is a great way to meet people and take pictures of their kids and develop these lifelong relationships.
Well, the first year I was with you, it was just pretty much just you and I.
It was.
And I was out there everywhere. I was running ragged, taking pictures of football, volleyball,
whatever you
basketball,
could, just to get
exactly. And then I put them out there on my website, and people were buying them up.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. I said, "This is pretty cool." Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, and then I figured, wow, we need to get more photographers on board.
Right.
Because I'm running ragged. I'm getting tired.
Well, there was no way, because we cover 120 schools.
Right, exactly.
And
we travel out to Sabinal.
Yeah.
And
I'll be out there in Sabinal Wednesday. And I was looking at I said, well, maybe we'll get a little cool down in the weather forecast. Nope, it's going to be 6 o'clock in the bleachers, and it's going to be 105 in Sabinal. So which means that you're probably not going. But that's okay. I love you, and I understand that. But yeah, I'll be there. Nueces Canyon on Thursday, which if you think Sabinal's far, yeah, it's even further. Yeah. And then Cotulla in a couple weeks.
But you know what? The reason I stuck around is because I believe in what you do. I mean, for these kids, and I'm all about kids.
Right.
Being a social worker. I believed in what you did. We had a lot of similar interests with trying to help children. So.
And you probably get a lot of feedback via email or whatever.
I do.
Tell us about some of those when you first started getting feedback. I mean, because to me, the feedback that I get, I mean, the announcing is so much fun, the PA announcing when I'm at the events and stuff, but, either right after the game or the feedback that you get via email, that's what makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, they want you to come out to their school. Hey, everywhere I go now, it's like, hey, get number 10, get number 30. Hey, my son or my daughter is number such and such. Can you get a shot of her?
Right.
It just comes from everywhere. As soon as I walk in, people are approaching me, or during the game, they're hollering numbers at me. So it's pretty cool.
It is. It is. And that was one of the things when before we had met, when I had John Albright as a photographer.
Great guy.
And he had started up his iblinked.com, and that was one of the things that he had mentioned. He says, man, I go out to games and already they've been going, iblinked.com, and stuff like that. And so it's kind of cool, and the parents grow to love you because they know. And here's the other cool thing, and not that I'm trying to drive a bunch of traffic to your website, although why not? But one of the cool things is when they go to your website and they find out, it's like, wait a minute, this isn't horribly expensive as maybe they've done in the past. You're very fair with your pricing system.
I keep it as low as my photo lab will allow.
Right.
I mean, I don't make a whole lot of money off of the pictures I take or sell. Mm-hmm. I mean, I keep it at a minimum. But the nice thing is that these parents go to the site, see the pictures, and then I'll get an email or a call saying, hey, do you do senior pictures? Mm-hmm. So I'll end up doing senior pictures. And believe it or not, I follow all these kids from middle school to high school to college. I end up doing their college senior pictures.
Wow.
And even some of them, I've done their engagement and their wedding.
Wow.
It's like I keep track of,
and the
I stay in touch with them.
And the coaches, eventually you'll start doing, people that you took pictures for, you're gonna take pictures of them as
the coaches are always inviting me out.
Yeah.
Hey, who you got coming out to our game? Do you have anybody coming out to our game?
Well, it's become such an important part of what we do at sasports.com that I'll go. For instance, like I said, I know you can't come to Sabinal on Wednesday, but I'll guarantee you when I go out there and you're not there, the first thing they're going to say is, oh man, where's Tony? Which is funny because they actually have kind of an official photographer in Diane Medina, but they will just be really heartbroken that you're not there. Now, without mentioning schools, tell me about any bad experience. Again, without mentioning schools, because of course I could always mention them.
Oh, I could too.
What kind of? I mean, how can anybody have a bad experience with Tony Morano? Tell us about one of the things that happened.
Well, I went out to one school.
Right.
Not in the San Antonio area.
Proper.
Exactly.
Right.
And, it was a football game. And then the school's official photographer contacted the AD, the police.
Yeah. They wanted you thrown out of it.
Yeah. They came out. I'm just putting my equipment together, and I see this horde of people coming at me in suits, police uniforms, and this old guy with his little camera all approaching me. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And they asked me what I was doing. And
wow.
And I said, I'm here representing SA Sports to cover the game. Here's my credential.
Yeah.
And apparently the old guy claims that he has the rights to all the pictures, and that I'm not allowed to be selling the pictures.
Right.
I said, well, is it okay if I take pictures?
Yeah.
I promise I won't sell them.
Yeah.
Okay? And I wanted to tell him right there, I promise I won't come back.
Yeah.
Okay? You won't get any coverage from us.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, and what we've done now with that specific school is we just take pictures of them when they're someplace else.
Absolutely. When they're someplace else,
Yeah.
that old guy is still there.
Uh-huh.
And I bring as many photographers as I possibly can. And we sell them all.
And, yes, and we won't mention the school by name,
Right.
but their mascot rhymes with Granger.
Well, the sad thing is the parents were upset about that incident.
Yeah, well, the head football coach, I know for a
Right.
fact, was upset that they treated you like that.
Right.
I got an apology from the coach. Again, can't mention his name,
Yeah,
but it's I mean, but my whole thing about that incident was, it's like slapping around a clown from Ringling Brothers.
Right.
It's like, you think of the most likable person in the world besides Tony Morano, and what in the world are you doing messing around with this guy and trying to cause trouble? I mean, I just did not understand that.
He couldn't approach me by himself.
Yeah.
He had to get the administration and the police to come up to me.
Yeah. It's like pushing down Mother Teresa. You don't push down Mother Teresa and say, get out of here. We're good enough without you.
And I don't even mind when other photographers. I love all the other photographers that I see at these different venues.
Well, and most of them get the fact that you're not there to take away their livelihood. You're there to enhance the whole experience, and we've worked really well with.
Well, there's enough pictures for everybody.
Yeah.
I understand. I may get a different angle, but they'll look at yours. If it's good enough, they'll buy it.
Yeah.
Have confidence in yourself.
Yes. I mean, the cell phone pictures that you take. If they think that's the best quality,
right?
That'll work. But anyway, I appreciate you being on the show with me today. Where are you going to be next week? Just so everybody knows. I mean, we've got now eight photographers with SASports.com. So if you go to SASports.com, just click on photos, and it's got a list of everybody and their picture and how you can get in touch with them and all that stuff. Where are you going to be this week?
This week I've got some Scorpions soccer,
right?
Some Stars basketball, but I plan on covering a lot of the volleyball tournaments coming up.
Right.
And of course,
because there is a lot. I mean, you got Northside tournament this weekend, this coming next weekend, Harlandale tournament. There's quite a few area tournaments that are going to be going on. So
and Silver Dancers, I covered their auditions. Taking one for the team on that.
Yeah, that must have been a real rough assignment for you.
Somebody's got to do it.
Tony Morano, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for him? He's, again, a great person and a great photographer. And again, if you need to get in touch with him, all you have to do is go to sasports.com. And again, make sure that you click on the photo button, and you'll find out everything you want to know and more about Tony Morano, including all of his contact information. Well, as I mentioned, it's been a great week here in San Antonio, not just for SASports.com, but I also want to let you know that a lot of good things have been going on in the community as far as the youth of San Antonio, and especially the female youth of San Antonio. That's why I wanted to bring on my next guest, because she started up an organization a couple years back, and it has grown into an incredible organization. And she does so many positive things for the community, so I want to have her on. How about a big round of applause for Becky Bliss from Go Play Girls? How you doing?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a while since I've seen you. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've seen you since our big event that we had with the All-Star softball team. Tell us a little bit about that event in particular. That was huge.
Yeah, it was. We were able to coordinate the USSSA Pride coming out, which is a professional softball team in the NPF, and they came here and played an exhibition game for us at St. Mary's University in December. Our organization hosted it. The host with our organization is just to get more girls involved in sports, fitness, and things like that, and to get them in contact with their role models, help them have experiences with them so that they can meet them and they know what they can strive for. So having the Pride come out here with countless Olympians and All-Americans on their roster and play that game for us in front of a beyond sold-out crowd at St. Mary's. It was the first event that they had at the new stadium.
Right.
And they told us capacity was 750 to 900, and we put 1,300 people plus
incredible
in there. So it was a great day. Our girls had firsthand contact. They got to be escorts for some of the best softball players in the world, right in the dugout with them, and then not to mention the great game that we had.
Yeah,
it was an action-packed game. I didn't get to see very much of it walking around the stadium.
You were pretty busy that night.
Troubleshooting everything, but from what I hear, it was a great game.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and tell us, because you got a lot of experience, playing the sport of softball. Tell us your background. You went to school?
I did. I played college softball at Springfield College in Massachusetts. I'm not a native Texan. I'm sorry, Texas. But I played at Springfield College in Massachusetts for 4 years. I was an All-American my junior year. And from there, when my season was over, senior year, I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach, and I thought that's what my job needed to be in. But the second our season ended in regionals at senior year, it was like, that can't be the end. So I kind of looked for ways to stay involved in the sport and ended up getting an assistant coaching job at a local university where I grew up, and I was an assistant strength and conditioning and softball coach. So I had both worlds that I had academically and athletically grown up in, and was able to do that for 2 years. And then when I decided to go to grad school, had the opportunity to coach at James Madison University, where they were transitioning their club team to a Division I team.
Nice.
So I did that while I got my master's degree, then went to York College in Pennsylvania for 7 years, coached there, and when that ride ended and I was looking for new things, I had known some friends down here that I coached overseas with a little bit, and this is where the winds of change brought me, and here I am.
So, well, and you've done so much, you did all that stuff, and you're only 25 years old, so I mean, that's
exactly
pretty darn incredible.
I'm actually 2 months away from 25.
Yeah, okay, that's right. It's in October. Sorry about that. Okay, so what exactly? What was the exact moment where you came to South Texas? I mean.
It was a late September evening. No, I'm just kidding. It was
a walk on the beach.
It was about 7 years ago, and like I said, I had met some other softball coaches coaching over in Holland a few years before that, and we had kept in touch. I'd visited a few times, and I was interviewing for some different college positions, and nothing was grabbing me. I didn't have the desire at that point in my career to go coach softball in the snow belt of Wisconsin, and nothing against Wisconsin, but as a softball coach, it gets trying, and I'd done that my whole life, and the thought of going someplace where you have your field for 30 days out of the whole season,
and that happens a lot when you're up north.
It does, and I grew up in that. I was used to it, but now I was ready for something else, and had mentioned one time to a friend of mine possibly opening up a facility to do lessons and run teams and help kids out of, and she kind of was like, "Oh, I want to do that too." And one conversation led to another, and I sold my house and moved to Texas.
Nice.
And didn't open a training facility.
No, you didn't. What did you do when you came here?
I was working with a gentleman at a place called America's Team, and we organized trips to take kids, high school kids and college kids, overseas to play. I had coached with a few different organizations, and this person for a few years. I've coached in Curacao, Holland, Italy, Belgium, and just seen some really cool things that if I didn't play the sport at the highest level. I wasn't, an All-American Olympian athlete, as a Division III All-American, but the things that the sport has given to me are amazing. Like the opportunity to see the places that I've seen and be where I've been, all because I picked up a ball when I was 6 years old.
Right.
It's just incredible. So, we were taking other kids over to have those opportunities. And then when I got here, I kind of just started doing private lessons, and what started as one client led to two, led to a few more, and that's what I do nowadays.
And you picked a really good place because San Antonio and the surrounding areas, New Braunfels, Comal County, Guadalupe. I mean, it's kind of been a mecca of softball in the whole state of Texas.
Yeah, the sport has grown here so much since I moved here just 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. You see it's everywhere, and it's not just softball. The sports for girls in this area, you're seeing it take off, and in all sports and the opportunities that they have. And
do you think that has a lot to do with the San Antonio Stars? I mean, being so prominent in the community.
I think it has to do with the Stars. I think it has to do with a lot of different things. We are bringing other things. The Alamo Dome brought the women's national soccer team here to play. You've got different organizations coming up. You've got different leadership programs for girls that aren't necessarily around sports, but different things, and they're just taking advantage of the opportunities. You also have San Antonio Sports that has done a great job of doing like Fit Family Challenges and the Bear County games and things like that, and they don't do them just for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Ciclovia, San Antonio is on the route to the Fit City challenge, and there's a lot of things like that, so there's more opportunities in that, and it's just they're trying to turn activity into a lifestyle here.
How exactly did Go Play Girls start? What was the idea that formed Go Play Girls?
When I was coaching at York, and actually in all the college jobs I always had a program where our athletes were involved with kids in the community. I've run camps and things, but specifically when I was at York College, I started what we called the Little Sparts Club. Our mascot was a Spartan. Mm-hmm. And I was a strength and conditioning coach there too, so I kind of knew all of the athletes, not just my girls.
Right.
And so I got the idea to start the Little Sparts Club where the girls on the different sports teams would be mentors, and they would have a little sister from the community. So we kind of just put the word out, and girls started signing up, and what we do, they would get a t-shirt when they signed up, and for each sport at York that we would have one event where the girls would come out and watch that season. So when there was a field hockey game, all the little sisters would come out. The big sisters from softball and basketball and soccer, track and tennis and swimming would all come, eat pizza on the hill, watch the game with the girls, and then when the game was over, the field hockey players came over. If their little sister was there, they talked to them. Sometimes they got to go down in the field and do some things. So I saw not only the difference that made for the younger girls, but also for the college athletes,
Yes.
Seeing the impact and the influence that they had on these kids and what it meant to the kids.
Well, I don't think they realize that until
you're a part of it, right? And so when I moved here, I was listening to the news, and at that point in time, San Antonio had the ranking of laziest or fattest city in the United States. We were in the top 5 or something like that, and some other things had come, people had been contacting me, well, my son can play baseball all year round, my daughter gets to do it for 2 months, and just little different things that had triggered me. And one day, I don't know what I was thinking, but I said, I wonder if I could do the Little Sparts Club in a city like San Antonio.
Right.
And so I just went with it from there, and I started trying to make contacts and connections and come up with these crazy programs. And when I was first telling some people about it, they're like, okay, it could be good, it could be crazy, but we'll celebrate our 2-year anniversary at the end of this month, and it's been a crazy ride, but I think some of the things that we've done for the girls have been awesome.
Oh, well, it's making a difference. I mean, just the events that I've gone to that you guys have participated in is just, you can tell you're making a difference. Right. You can tell not just with the kids, but you're making a difference in parents' lives because now they're starting to make smart choices based on what you guys are doing. And not just necessarily the exercise choices, but the, you've had nutritionists, you've had all sorts of things going on. Tell me about your relationship, because you've had a relationship now with the San Antonio Stars, and you guys have actually done some events with them.
Right, we do Girls Night Out events with them, where our Girls Night Out is where we basically just find a game that's going on in the area, and we take the girls out to it and usually find some sort of special thing for them. So when we've been to the Silver Stars game in the past, they have this living flag that they call it, and it's a flag half the size of the court. It takes about 50 people to take it out there. So when our girls go to Girls Night Out, they go and get there early, and they get to hang out by the court and watch the girls warm up, the Stars team and the visiting team warm up on the court, and then we go backstage and learn how to properly carry this American flag. They get to go out on the court and do that and things like that. Last week at camp, we were grateful that Kayla Alexander was actually able to come out and talk to the girls, and they were asking her all sorts of crazy questions. We had one little girl ask her for her phone number in case she had any more questions later. We kind of told her that was against the rules, and then the next night, the Stars comped us some tickets, and we got to send all of our kids out to the game that was on ESPN. So they all made signs for Kayla, and they had a whole section to themselves, and we saw their pink shirts up there jumping up and down, yelling. A couple of the parents were like, I don't think some of them stopped yelling Kayla's name the whole night.
That's neat.
So it's good, and they see them, and they get to interact with them. But having the players come out, the girls just get all wide-eyed, and it's a great experience for them.
Well, and obviously Becky Hammond is one of the people that they've been able to look up to because she's done so many great things in her career. How huge is this hiring of Becky Hammond as a full-time assistant coach as far as shattering the glass ceiling? How huge is this for the younger kids that are involved with Go Play Kids to see something like this happen?
I wish it wasn't a big deal, really, but it is. It's a men's major professional sports organization, and this is the first time that they've had the confidence to hire a woman. And I wish that it just came down to the knowledge of the game. Becky's proven herself for years on so many different levels that she's a leader and that she knows the game and she understands it. And I think for the Spurs to give her that opportunity to show, as long as you know the game, you can and coach it, you can convey that to your players, and gender doesn't matter. I think it's a big step. You've seen it in the past few years, especially in the softball world. You see more and more women breaking into the previously male-dominated broadcasting side of it and the interviewing side of it, but this step in the coaching side of it in a sport like basketball, that's a male-dominated sport on every level. I think it's a big step, and I think it'll just continue to roll from here.
Well, and when I say it's a big deal, the reason the fact that I really thought this was huge, it was not necessarily because all the coverage it's getting, but the fact that that Coach Popovich is not one to do. He's not. That because Coach Popovich did this, it's not done as a PR stunt.
Oh, exactly.
Popovich could care less about PR. I mean, he abhors it, but he is doing it because he's a basketball mind and she's a basketball mind, and that's why it was done, and that everybody in the Spurs organization respects her basketball mind. I think that's what made this even bigger than anything.
Because the Spurs did it is what makes it even bigger. Because if another organization did it, yes, you'd hear people, PR. I actually saw somebody post, a local talk show guy posted something on Facebook the other day about, is this a PR stunt? And he basically got tongue lashed. Everybody here knows the Spurs aren't about PR. They probably would have rather just hired her and let it go and had practice. But San Antonio knows what the Spurs are all about, and I think after this run this year, the rest of the country and the WNBA
and I think that's why
too.
The rest of the country. I don't even think even from a national standpoint that anybody thought, the Spurs are doing this for PR, because that's not who the Spurs are, and everybody knows that now in the country. So I think that's again another thing that made it pretty special. But like I said, for the girls looking up to Becky, this hopefully will show them that they can do anything they want to do.
Definitely.
Tell us a little about some of the upcoming events that Go Play Girls is going to have, because I know this is not something that happens 2 or 3 months a year. This is definitely a year-round proposition.
We have 1 to 2 events a year. Working on the full fall calendar right now, but we just finished up 2 weeks of summer camp. We do free summer camps for our girls. Fitness and sports. So like I said, Kayla Alexander came out one day. We had the softball coaching staff from Incarnate Word University come out one day, and just a BOCWA instructor had come out for us. Zumba instructors, karate, self-defense. The girls do a number of different things at camp each week, and so we have that opportunity for them. So now we regroup. We've got the first 6 months of the year out of our way, and now we'll go. Some of the things for the fall, we're working on putting together the details to have a watch party for the NPF Championship Series. The NPF Championship is in Hoover, Alabama. Obviously, we can't put 200 girls on a bus and take
No.
them over there, but we're looking at having a big outdoor watch party to have that scene. We're working on a triathlon for our kids. We're, by popular demand, definitely going to be doing our mud run again. We did a Muddy Miler course. We built the whole course ourselves. The kids had a blast with that one. We'll definitely have girls' night out events coming up. We'll probably have UTSA volleyball, Incarnate Word soccer have been ones that we always go to. We're working on another team handball clinic. We have a coach, Marilyn Elder, who's a local athlete that's training with the U.S. national team for team and beach handball. And so when she comes home, we'll get another clinic. She's done a lot of clinics with our kids, actually hosted the first ever beach handball clinic for youth in the United States. Back in, I think we did that in October. So she'll be back. So there's a lot of different things, and who knows what might pop on the radar tomorrow. Definitely going to try to head out to the roller derby again. Our girls loved that. They got to roller skate and then watch the Alamo City Roller Girls just beat each other up out there. And
My
the kids
next
love
door
it.
neighbor actually just auditioned for the Alamo City Roller Girls and made the team along with her daughter. So.
Yeah, our girls had a blast. They could come out. So we're working on finalizing the calendar, but there'll definitely be, we have 5 months left in the year. We'll probably have 8 or 10 more events for the girls to come out to.
Well, and I hope I can be involved with some of them. And one of the things I also want to say is, being the official announcer of Our Lady of the Lake University, their women's basketball team, which has gone to the national tournament now 3 years in a row, and they have a chance, legitimate chance this year of winning a national championship. That'd be a kind of a cool place to do a national to do the night out for the girls as well.
Yeah, definitely. We work with all the colleges. It's just a matter of who responds when I write my email saying I have this group of close to 500 girls. We usually get between 50 and 100 to participate in each event, which isn't bad when it's not a big organization where you have to come to everything. If you like volleyball, you come to the volleyball. If you're interested in soccer, you come to soccer, and it's by choice, and it's not something that parents. Our membership fee is only $25 a year.
Yeah, and that's incredible. $25 a year, and they get to participate in all this stuff.
Right, and everything is free. They get T-shirts and backpacks and water bottles and bracelets when they sign up, and then they're getting their tickets to all these games and these events and these runs and everything at no cost. So.
Somebody wants to get in touch with you about this. Best way to contact you?
I think our website is down right now. I was noticing this morning it was having some issues. I know. With that's goplaygirls.org, or we have a Facebook page, just Go Play Girls on Facebook. You can email me at goplaygirls@gmail.com, and hopefully by this afternoon you'll be able to see our website again. But.
And I'm sure it will be. But anyway, I sure appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No, and thanks for everything that you do for the girls here in San Antonio, because it's a pretty amazing organization. The parents that have been involved with Go Play Girls are so supportive, and I'll do everything I can to support you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Bliss from Go Play Girls, thanks so much for being on the show today. And we are SA Talk today. I'm Jay Tope, your host, Jackie Hill, the regular host of SA Talk today. Will be on tomorrow. And excuse me, not tomorrow. Today's Friday. She'll be in on Monday. She'll be back hosting the show, and looking forward to that as well. Couple things, a couple reminders. The SASports.com live show will be starting in either September or October, and we're going to have all sorts of information about that show. It'll be Monday nights at 6 p.m. It'll be an hour-long show celebrating high school athletics, and also a couple of other announcements that we'll be having, and all you have to do is go to sasports.com. Matter of fact, big announcement this afternoon on sasports.com, probably around 5, 6 o'clock. So keep that in mind. Today, of course, is also a day where the high school volleyball scrimmages started. Actually, they started this morning. They'll be going on all day today and all day tomorrow. And the high school volleyball season actually starts on Monday, and I'll be out at Paul Taylor for a triple header. 4 o'clock first game, Holmes Roosevelt. That's followed by Stevens and Brackenridge, and of course a big game after that, Reagan and Brennan. That's where coach and former coach will meet up, and that'll be a lot of fun. So head on out to Paul Taylor if you've got the time. That'll be Monday again, starting at 4 o'clock. Well, our next guest, again, very happy to have Crystal Vargas. Anytime I can have a chance to talk with her about her marketing company and things that she's involved with and has been involved with, it's always a great thing. So I got Crystal Vargas here for Crystal Vargas Marketing. How about a round of applause for Crystal as well?
Thank you.
You're doing well, right?
We're taking off. Our company hit our 1-year anniversary in February, and things have just been going fantastic. I'm very thankful and humbled by the support.
That's great, and you guys, again, it's continuing to grow, and I know it's a process when you start up a small business.
It is. You've got to dig those trenches and establish those relationships.
And you got to not get disappointed when things go, because
Oh, it's tough. I thought having a regular job, you go in, you go out. This is a 24-hour thing, working weekends, working after 5. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
It's a lot of fun. Now tell us how you got your start. I mean, your background. Are you originally from San Antonio?
I am. I'm a little country girl out from the south side of San Antonio. Moved to the western sector about 17. My aunt, Lourdes Galvan, was a big-time community activist. And
I remember her because she was a Kelly.
She was the president.
When I was at Kelly, and I was part of the from 88 to 92, and I was part of the health promotions team, and so I had to meet her. She probably doesn't even remember that at the time, but I just remember she was tough as nails. I mean, she is.
She's tough. I moved in with her when I was 17 and ended up going to Sydney Lanier High School.
So that's where you graduated
from.
And
that's where I ended up graduating from, and established my roots in the western sector, and I've been there ever since.
You really have, because I mean, in addition to everything else you've done, your role, and Gabe Farias,
he's my former business partner with the PRMP Group of Texas, gave me my start in design and public relations, marketing, and even learned a little bit of policy.
Right, and you have to. I mean, because you can't do marketing or anything else without knowing policy, because there's certain ways you got to do things.
Yeah, as a lot of marketing firms, something that kind of separates us is we also work with intergovernmental. We have different business. We represent businesses of all sizes.
Right.
Whether it's a startup that needs a logo, marketing material, or an established business that is maybe looking for a rezoning or has an issue with the city, or maybe thinking about moving their location and wants to know about what grants, what benefits or city programs are available. We can do it all.
So you ended up being the head of the West San Antonio Chamber of Commerce.
Was.
Tell us how that happened. How you became because before you were there, quite frankly, I mean, it wasn't
started
dead.
To fizzle out a little bit.
Fizzle out,
Mary
I think,
Cruz
would
left.
be the proper term for it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of movement. I think there was some changes in leadership, and I had the opportunity to get my start at the West Chamber in 2009, and I started at the bottom.
Right.
I started at the West Chamber doing data entry, moved on up to membership services, systems director. So I had every position in the organization.
Yeah, well, but that's good. A lot of times people come in as the head cheese of an organization,
right.
and they don't know anything about how the organization is from top to bottom, or bottom to top in your case.
Correct. I learned all of the inner workings, from entering data to selling memberships to finding resources for businesses, programs, I worked my way to the top, to president.
Right. And then you decided at one point that you said you wanted to do your own thing. Why,
Yeah.
how, I mean.
It was actually a misfortune. I was rear-ended on Guadalupe Street in Frio. I had a car accident, and I was injured. I went through some physical therapy, but
how much pain you were in.
It was very painful.
It was painful just for me to watch you, because I was like, oh my God, she's
We've been friends for a while,
right?
You've seen my ups and you've seen my downs, but I think out of every tragedy comes a triumph. And being able to found a company that's so involved in the community, able to help so many businesses of every level, is wonderful, and I couldn't be happier.
It is. It's a great thing that you've founded. So CVM, otherwise known as Crystal Vargas Marketing. Tell us. I mean, how do you start? Yes. Well, how did it start? First off, I mean, it was something that you'd been wanting to do.
It started as an idea, and as you know, Gabe Farias, my former business partner, said, "Crystal, you can do this. You've partnered with me in this firm." I wasn't there yet. I wasn't confident enough yet. But after consulting with some of my mentors and some of the leaders in the community, I gained the confidence to be able to say, you know what, I can do this. I've done this for the chamber. I've represented over 350 50 businesses in San Antonio. I can do this on my own.
Right.
I understand the needs of the businesses. I can help market and promote their services. I understand the inner workings of business development, intergovernmental. I mean, I have all the skills. It was just a confidence that I needed.
And I remember I was actually at one of your first events that you had at the, where was it? It was at the place on Blanco and 410, the Loft.
A-Loft. We hosted a Heart of Gold mixer.
Right.
We brought some business leaders and small business owners and put together a benefit. And you were there, and we definitely appreciated your support.
No, my wife absolutely enjoyed it. And my daughter.
We had an auction. We had all kinds of stuff.
We had music and everything.
We had Rob Bernal and the Mirage Band donated their services. So we had a little Frank Sinatra vibe at the event.
It was great. And my daughter was there, and she absolutely fell in love with that place because she's big into Art Deco and stuff like that. And A-Loft
It was cool. I mean, A-Loft is a cool venue. They treated us very well, so we appreciated that.
And we had the whole sports auction thing going on in the back.
Oh, we did. We had a sports auction. We had a boutique, women's clothing, jewelry, shoes. I mean, we went all out.
And
catering.
And this guy next to you, pretty impressive guy.
One of the things that CVM does is, as you know, we represent small businesses, large businesses. We even partner with nonprofits and corporate. You know, I host events.
Right.
But one of the main things we do is create media opportunities, such as this one that you've graciously bestowed upon us.
Yes.
But Pedro is one of our partners in the community. He does commercial and residential architectural design and planning. So this is Pedro Ayala.
How about a round of applause for Pedro, ladies and
Pedro
gentlemen?
gets a round of applause. So we wanted him to maybe highlight a couple of his services and businesses. He's one of our clients as well. And this is basically what we do as a company.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you do, Pedro.
Well, what I do is I'm owner of Build, which originally started out as an acronym, Build, for Building Urban and Innovative Land Development.
Right.
My background is in architecture. I have a master's degree in architecture and been practicing on my own for about 10 years. I started in Houston, and then I traveled down to the Valley, which is where I'm from, McAllen, and just moved up to San Antonio about 2 years ago. And I shortened it to just Build. Right.
That is cool. That's cool. I mean, it's much better than Destroy, you know, which is I've got an acronym, which means doing everything. I don't know. I'll work on that one. Anyway, so you got the acronym and everything, and so who all do you work with?
Well, I work with developers. I work with investors. Currently, with the help of Crystal. She's been able to help me come out and introduce me to different investors and developers. And I'm working with some residential investors in the inner city.
Right.
Anywhere from inside the 410 loop.
Right, and there's been a lot of great things going on. I mean, and I think that, you know, yourself and, of course, you know, West San Antonio Chamber and what Crystal Vargas is doing with her marketing company, it really has been a revival inside the loop.
Thank you.
Can you give us a little example of some of the things you've been involved with so far?
Well, as I mentioned, I moved here about 2 years ago from McAllen, and here in San Antonio, I had worked here in the past, back in '97 and between '96 and '98. So it was kind of a natural for me to move here, but Crystal really has been a real door opener, and the West San Antonio Chamber of Commerce as well. You know, just with the breakfast, luncheons, making connections,
going to events,
and
participating in some of the infrastructure and development initiatives in the east side and the west side.
Right.
Yeah, so just getting to know what's going on in the city, what's going on with development, what's going on particularly on the west side, and just on the east side and in different sectors of the city. It's really helped my business to kind of hone in on those areas and the people that are involved.
And it's been a great thing you've done. Just tell us a little bit. But you know, you had this breakfast just the last week.
I did. Thank you for attending. It was my first of 4 in a quarterly series to kind of to bridge the relationship between our city, our local chambers of commerce, our community members, like the Better Business Bureau.
Right.
We hosted a panel of guests, including Councilwoman Shirley Gonzalez from District 5, the Better Business Bureau's Regional PR Director, Cesar Alvarado, the President of the West San Antonio Chamber of Commerce, Gabe Farias, and also the West Side Development Corporation Executive Director, Leonard Rodriguez.
Right.
We were able to pull these resources together to speak to business owners and kind of help them understand their relationship, one, with their local government, two, who to connect with in regards to city programs, city resources, city benefits, three, to learn about accreditation with the Better Business Bureau, because there's businesses that have no clue what some of the benefits are.
Right.
And then four, connecting with your local chamber of commerce in your area. For that area, it happened to be the western sector. So of course we obviously invited the West Chamber to come in for the kickoff. And we'll be moving this event to each quadrant of the city. My next event will hopefully include Councilwoman Rebecca Villagran. We'll be reaching out to her
And what a neat
to
person
schedule a
she is.
South
She's
Side
just
one.
such a positive
She's
person.
fantastic. She's really taken the ball and run with it in regards to planning and development in the South Side. For one, Brook City Base.
Yes.
She's been detrimental in the development of that out there.
She's been amazing, and
Wonderful woman.
And what you guys are doing are
I
just
appreciate
amazing.
that.
It's
Thank
a
you.
lot of fun, and the thing is, a lot of things that you guys provide are things people, as myself, I'm a small business owner. Sometimes we get so involved in the day-to-day stuff, and we don't think outside the box, and this is one of the things that you guys can help.
Right. There's so many business owners. For one, sometimes businesses are short-staffed.
Right.
Everyone's pulling their resources together, and they don't necessarily have time to perhaps host an event or organize a grand opening or pull these marketing materials. Or one of the things that we as a company do is we go door knocking.
Right.
We've got teams and groups of people that will go door to door and market and promote your services.
Because I
Really
think
connecting with the residents.
you can do all the social media marketing that you want,
Mail outs.
but the thing is that face-to-face stuff, not
Right.
just the network mixers, but the door-to-door knocking. And as I told people, sometimes just write a handwritten letter and don't put a darn label on it. Write the label out, because you know what?
Or sign your letter in handwritten.
Yes, because if you look at something, if you get something in the mail, I already know. Bill, have no idea what this is, but it's to the resident, or whatever. But if I see something that's got my name in it and it's done in handwriting, I'm going to open it.
Right.
So this kind of thing you do where you get out into the community.
We physically connect with people. For example, I host community health events.
Right.
We host as a company, we promote health and education in areas of the city that need it. We host the free community health fair in the eastern sector, the western sector, and we're working on expanding it into the south side.
Right.
We partner with the local YMCAs, for example, the West Side Family YMCA, the Davis Scott Family YMCA. We've been to the Claude Black. We've been to the Frank Garrett Center. We host free vision screenings, free kidney screenings, free bone density screenings, nerve scans, you name it. We try to provide resources for people that are in immediate need and maybe otherwise wouldn't go.
Right.
And we've found people with health problems and health issues.
I imagine you do,
right.
Especially when nobody, when a lot of times, for instance, I've never had a bone density screening, and
they have a portable machine now.
Yeah, I know, that scares me. That scares me. But it's changing people's lives, and I think that's one of the things that you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, and thanks for being on here with me today, Pedro. Thanks so much for what you're doing in the city.
Appreciate the opportunity.
We will definitely be staying in touch. And let me know when your health. Do you know when your next health fair is going to be?
It's in the works. We're waiting to secure a date. Hopefully in September, perhaps in October, and we'll be happy to come on and promote it once we get that date secure.
Well, and if somebody wants to get in touch with you, best way to do it.
The best way to reach me is either by phone or email. My phone number is 210-371-8584, or you can reach me at Crystal, CRYSTAL, at cvmsanantonio.com.
And is that your website as well?
My website is crystalvargasmarketing.com.
There you go.
Thank you.
And see how easy that is to get involved with people throughout the community. You know, I mean, we've had Tony Morano, and he's going to be taking pictures. We'll have those pictures posted.
Thank you, Tony.
Somewhere. Tony's a great guy to know, and we want to thank, of course, Tony, also Becky Bliss from Go Play Girls, and again,
Great program. I saw that in the green room.
it is. It's pretty amazing what they do, and of course, Crystal Vargas and Pedro from Crystal Vargas Marketing, and again, Build, which is the acronym. And you, Pedro, do you have a place where people can get in touch with you as well?
Yes, you can visit buildrgv.com, and that's my website.
Right.
And my phone number is 210-514-2955. And as a matter of fact, we are going to have a networking mixer for one of the homes that we just are finishing up.
Nice.
Down in Castle Hills, and it'll be August 28th.
28th, which is a Thursday. Last Thursday of
this month.
There you go. And again, you can go to sasports.com. We got another magazine coming out pretty soon, and so we're looking forward to that. Tony's making faces. I mean,
that's a fantastic magazine. I've seen it. It's lovely.
Thanks. Tell all your friends they need to advertise in it.
I will.
Again, Monday, Jackie Hill is back, kicking me out of this chair, but who knows? I might be coming back. I will definitely be coming back for our new show that'll be coming up in late September, early October, called SASports.com Live, and that's going to be featuring all sorts of high school student athletes, coaches, and other people, and it's going to be a lot of fun. More info on that coming up, and again, go to SASports.com for more details. I want to thank Albert Hill, of course, who has basically been a one-man band this week. He'll have all of his help, including his wife Jackie as host next week, and Tony McMeans producing, and everybody else that's normally here. On behalf of everybody that was a guest today, Tony, Crystal, Becky, and of course Pedro. My name is Jay Tope. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Silver Fox Studios for putting up with me. Have a great day. God bless you all.
Thank you. Good job. High five.